Do you guys have an iPilot link just like this? Are you having a hard time plugging it in? The charge cables never work. You get a new one, it doesn't work. It's a pain in the butt, and I don't know why, but Minn Kota has their special cable for this, so you can't use a regular cable. Well, we're gonna change that today. I've ordered in these things. These are USB-C female adapters that go to a red and white wire, just like this. And that's what you want for modifying this, because we're gonna set this controller up so you can charge this with a cell phone. It's way more reliable, charges quicker, and you can use any cable. And it's about a $5 upgrade. So first thing we're gonna do is take off these rubber strips. You're gonna have 2 of these. I've got them taken off from the edge already. The next you're going to want to do is peel this rubber off. There's gonna be 4 larger screws like this in these holes. You're gonna remove those screws, and then you're just gonna pull this rubber back off. There's gonna be a rubber piece in there that keeps your battery waterproof. And then once that's out, this is open. You are gonna notice around the edge a bunch of smaller screws, and we're gonna have to remove those. Now, I don't have the proper tool. It's like a really, really tiny star head screw. So what I have here, I mean, if you can find the little star head screw for this, that's even better. But if in doubt, this, whatever this is, 1.6, 1.8 millimeter flathead will work in a pinch. So I'm gonna stick this in, and I'm going to unscrew all of these little screws. So you are going to have 8 of these screws all around the edge. Keep them in a little dish, container, some spot. You're not going to lose them. They are very, very tiny. And after these screws are out, there is no other screws you need to take out. So there's only a total of 4 in the beginning, then these 8, and that's it. Okay, so there's those 8. I'm going to put them off to the side. If you ever needed to replace your battery, this is how you can do it. This battery comes out. You can look up the serial number on here, order a new battery, and replace it if your battery is not charging. To get this battery out, you can use little pliers, or I just grab the wires and kind of pop that off, just like that. Comes out quite simply. And then you're going to have this black back case, and you're just going to wiggle that off. If you have to, use your flathead. Just stick it in the side and twist in the little space here. That's going to open this up, loosen it apart, and you're going to have a black and red wire inside. Do you see that? And that goes to your positive and negative for charging, and that's where we're going to attach our new USB-C. All we're doing is taking off this black and red and attaching this to there, and that's it. It's a very, very simple upgrade. Pull these things off. There's the red, and here's the black. Okay, those are off. I don't need these here at all. If you really wanted to, you could leave these 2 wires attached to that and then have this and attach it to that spot as well. So you have 2 charge ports, one for a cell phone, one for the regular cable if you wanted to. But I'm never going to use this charge cable again. I don't like the Minn Kota charge cable. It's just junk. They're too faulty. And then I got to find a spot to mount this. So in the case, it mounts like this. There isn't like a ton of room, but I'm wondering if right here I would have room. If I should go there, or if I should drill out this end piece and stick this in here. I'm going to leave this piece. I'll put the rubber piece on it, and then I will have this USB-C. I'm going to mount it right to this flat back piece right here. It's just going to stick out like so, and that's going to be my charge cable. So first things first, I'm going to have to drill a hole into this so I can place this little charge adapter on it. This drill bit is roughly the width of this. So I'm just going to drill like 3 holes side by side, and this should fit in. If I had a little miter saw or something, I'm guaranteed you'd be able to do this a lot cleaner than what I'm going to do right now. But is what it is. Here's the start of it. I'll show you guys. I've got the hole there. You can kind of see that there. And I'm just gonna, as I go, kind of check the sizing. So I'll put these wires through, and then I can just check this little piece, see how close that is to popping in there. A little bit longer and a little bit wider, and then that piece will pop right in there. Put this thing through. Might pop in, guys. So here it is. Let's see if we can get that to clip. So close. Oh, that just popped in there, and that just popped in there. So that thing is super tight in there. It's not going anywhere. That is what that is going to look like. On the bottom, the back of the controller, when it's all sealed up, that's going to be our plug now. Instead of plugging in here, we're plugging in there. Solder the wires. See that negative and positive here? I'm going to solder the wires to that. So this piece is going to lay like this, and these 2 black and red wires are going to go to this piece is going to lay on here, just like this, and these black and red wires are going to solder right here to these positive and negative. Very, very simple. I've just got the soldering iron heating up. All I'm going to do is solder those 2 wires to the motherboard. I will connect the battery, and before I put any of the bolts in, I'll plug it in just to make sure that charging port is working before I continue any further. So let's get the soldering iron and continue on with this sick ass mod. Let's go. In order to get the solder to solder these wires a little better, I'm going to add a little Bernzomatic. This is just flux. I'm just going to add just a tiny bit of flux to it. I'm going to take a little bit of solder, melt it on the end of my soldering gun. So that is that. I can unplug the soldering gun. We have our wires attached, and now we can actually put this case back on. I'm just going to probably add a little bit of tape in here and here just to hold it, just so it doesn't get moved around. But that's okay. Now that this is all done up, I'm going to take the battery and I'm going to plug the battery in. Really good and snug. Okay, so that's in. Okay, so testing it. Controller comes on. Motor not found. Now, before we go further and put all the screws in, we're going to test this little USB-C charger now. See if that works. I have here a little battery bank. This is something I could bring on the boat. It's just like a, whatever, USB to a USB-C cable, and now I'm going to plug it into here, and if I plug it into here, I should see a red light on the front, meaning it's charging. So that just clipped in. I have here a red light, and if I touch the screen, I don't know if you can see that, guys, we are charging with USB-C. So done with the Humminbird cord. Forget that damn thing. I can charge my controller now with my cell phone cables. So this thing here is going to go right back over here. I mounted that thing there, and I didn't look on the case, but that thing is like right underneath it. That was dumb. That was dumb. If you're doing this, move it up here into this space here. I didn't account for this back panel, and now I'm going to have to notch this piece of plastic out just to be able to see this guy here. And it would have looked a lot cleaner. The other thing you could have done too is maybe drilled this hole sideways and drilled this out a little bit wider and put the plug right in there. And I still may actually do that. That might be a decent idea. Let me just see how one of these would fit on there. I may actually just widen that hole a bit, because that would actually fit in this thing really good. It would add a bit more height to it. So yeah, you know what I'm going to actually do, guys? I'm going to end up pulling this out, turning it sideways, and mounting it in here. I think that's going to be a lot cleaner, actually. So I'm going to have to redo it, resolder it, but I just think it'll look a lot better. All right, guys, so I finished the iPilot Link mod. So here's my controller. It's all back together. It's all completed. And there you can see the USB-C right here. So just to test this thing out, if I'm holding here, the power button loads up. I agree, motor not found. And if we want to charge it at the back, cover my eyes, the USB-C portion there, all we have to do is get our little battery bank here, and we just take this USB-C end and plug it into the back here into this USB-C. So that plugs straight into the back, and this thing is charging. As you can see there, that guy is charging, and it's charging by USB-C. So charging, unplug it. Here you guys can see USB-C, USB-C, and I'm going to plug it back in. As soon as I plug that back in, see the red light appear. Boom. She's charging. It's flawless. Works every time. Million times better than stupid Humminbird's, whatever that connection is in the back. It's ridiculous. Humminbird, just put a USB-C. Quit trying to rip off customers and put stuff on, and you have to buy a special cable for like 60 bucks. It's not needed at all. So if you guys want to modify your iPilot Link, put a USB-C in it. Grab one of these guys, you open it up. It's basically drill one hole, solder two wires to a positive, negative, and bob your uncle. It's very, very simple. The hardest part is deciding where to put it. I highly recommend putting it in the little hole between those two screws. That worked best. Looks nice and clean. If you guys modify this, maybe you'll put it down in the bottom somewhere and replace this. You could do that too. Also, if you had a little Dremel tools, you could probably do this install a lot cleaner than I did using a drill. So don't care, it works. I can fish. That's the main thing. So if this video helped you out, if it fixes your controller or even inspires you to try this out, then please consider liking, subscribing for some more fishing videos, some more fishing content, and some more tips and tricks on how to make your fishing so much better, as well as improve some of your electronics. Peace.